Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today is Wednesday, so that means it's MODA Blockheads Day. So today we're going to work on MODA Blockheads 5 Part 2 Block 4. So let's get started. So today we're going to work on the MODA Blockheads 5 Block 4, and it is the Morning Star by Barbara Groves of Me and My Sister Designs. It's a pretty simple pattern. I'm going to do mine a little bit different than the directions that they have. Here on the directions, they have the 4 at a time method for flying geese. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do a more traditional. But let's start with step 1 first, which is making the corner units. So the corner units of this block, they're all 4 are the same. You're going to take your, I'm doing the 12-inch size, so you're going to take your corner piece and you're going to add A, that's piece A. You're going to add B here, and after we add B, we're going to add C here. So we're going to do that to 4 pieces. So you have 4 corner pieces. So I'm going to do that first. Okay, we're going to give that a press. And then after I press this, we're going to add this one to the bottom of that. Really simple. My iron's not hot. Alright, it's warm enough for now. Alright, now we're going to add the C piece to the bottom, or I'm just going to turn it to the side and sew it right next to that piece. Right there. Super simple. And we're going to press that one. And this is the Steam Fast cordless iron. I thought I would mention that because after my last video, I had several people ask me which iron I was using. I will link that down below. You can find it on Amazon. It's pretty inexpensive. I think it's around $40. I really like this iron to have right here next to my table. I wouldn't iron a bunch of yardage with this. I don't think it would stay hot long enough, but it's definitely plenty hot to do blocks at your table side. So, okay, so that's your corner unit. Actually, it's going to look like that. You're going to have 4 of those. So I'm going to set that aside for now. And now we're going to make our flying geese units. And like I said, I'm not going to do them the way that they did them. They're doing the 4 at a time method, which I don't love doing them that way. I prefer the flip and stitch, which is the more traditional way of making flying geese. So that's what I'm going to do. So if you're going to do it the same way as I am, you're going to need 4 of your background, 4 of whatever print you use. You're going to need 8 of this print and 8 of the other print, because there's 2 prints. This is going to be the flying geese wings on this print, and then my center of my block. These are going to be the other flying geese, and then the outer part that's going to go on the background. So I'm going to add these here, and I'm going to add these here. So let me grab this. So this print is the center of my block. So these go on here to make a flying geese, which will join up with this. Okay. So if you want to make it this way, these are 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles, and these are 2.5 inch squares. So same thing, 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles, 2.5 inch squares. So the cutting's a little bit different if you want to do it. So that's the only difference. And of course, they're made the traditional way. So if you like to do traditional flying geese, which I prefer, you can change it to that. Again, the measurements are 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles for 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles for your background for those, and then 8 of your 2.5 inch squares for the print one, and 8 of your 2.5-inch squares for print 2. Okay? Alright, so let's get these sewn on. And you're going to make 4 pair of these, of each color. So you're going to have 8 flying geese all together. We'll do 1 of each of these at a time, just to save some time here. Trim them both, press them, and then we'll do the other sides. Okay, so I'm just going to trim these 1/4 inch away. And somebody asked me why I was using scissors instead of a rotary cutter. You can use either. I've seen a lot of people actually do it this way. If you look at some of Missouri Star's videos, Jenny Doan, she does it this way. It's just a lot easier to do on camera than to pull out the rotary cutter and the ruler. And the ruler does make a glare from the lights and things, so sometimes it's easier. I've been sewing long enough that I can kind of eyeball 1/4 inch. But if you're more comfortable with your rotary cutter, definitely use your rotary cutter. It's just faster for me to do it this way. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and press these. It's an interesting question. I never really thought about it when I was trimming them, but I had like 2 people ask me this week why I do that. So, and I'm going to finger press those and then bring my iron over. And don't forget you need to make 4 of the background with the print and 4 of the print with the secondary print. And this print here is my center square, so that's the one I'm matching to my center to make the center star. Okay. All right. Now I'm just going to add my pieces to the other side to make the flying geese, just like that. This block should go together fairly quickly for you. Pretty straightforward block this week again, which I really like. Got so many projects going on. It's really nice to have some easy blocks that don't take too long. Alright, I'm going to trim these. And then we'll press them, and I'll show you how to put them together. Alright. If you're somebody who likes to use cutoffs for half square triangles, those will make some cute little half square triangles. Alright, let me grab my iron. Hope you're enjoying MODA Blockheads so far. I am. No, I don't work for MODA. I just really like the Blockheads. I do sell MODA fabrics though in my shop, but that's not why I did this. I did this so long because I just really like it. So, all right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to join these 2 together to make something that looks like this. And these are our center units all the way around. And what I usually do is I usually put the flying geese that I'm sewing through the seam on top. So that X right there, I can go just to the right of it, and so I don't lose my point. Okay, so now I'm going to sew these 2 flying geese together, making sure I don't cut off my point. All right, so in my case, I want the same prints touching. So mine is the blue touching the blue. My background is up here and my red is here, which is going to eventually join with the red to make the center star. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and press this, and I'm going to press it down this way because it seems like that's the way it wants to go. So it makes the most sense to me to press it that way. All right, so that basically took care of step 2, 3, and 4. So now we're on to step 5, where all we have to do is assemble this block. So here we go. I've got one of those there. Here's my center. And then I've got a corner unit here, another corner unit. Then we're going to put this guy here. And we're going to put this guy here, and we're going to sew these rows. I've already got the bottom row done. And where did I put it? I will find it and I will be back. I stuck it somewhere. Sorry about that. There it is. It dropped on the floor. It was hiding from me. Didn't want to go in this block, I guess. But there we go. So here's what that's the center star that you're creating, and then I used red because I really wanted the center to stand out. That's how I chose the fabric. Then I used the blue, and of course the white background, so red, white, and blue. I'm using the Old Glory line from Lala Boutique, and this fabric is really, really pretty. I love it. So very excited to use this. All right, so I'm going to sew these together. Now I'm going to sew these pieces to the rows together first, and then we'll press them at the same time, and then sew the rows together to make the block. Again, I'm sewing with the Flying Geese on top, so I can see where I'm sewing to not cut off the points. And there we go. So I'm going to put this top one together. I'm going to press this center row in and the top and bottom row out, so they nest really well together when we sew the rows together. Okay, just going to finger press these, then I'll grab my iron and we'll press these. Done. All right. All right, nice and flat. Now we can join all these rows together to make our block. This is going to be such a pretty block. Oh, I love it. And really easy. Okay, here we go. one more seam. Oh, that's going to be pretty. Love it. So happy that the MODA Blockheads theme was stars this year. Just love star blocks. So a lot of people have asked how many blocks are in this part of the MODA Blockheads. There are 30. You can put these 30 in a quilt, or you can make the first 10 and have 40 for a quilt. If you already made the first 10 and you made a smaller quilt or another project, that's fine too. The 30 are meant to go in a quilt by themselves. But there are 30 for this round. So, all right, there's our block. So I'm going to give this a nice press, and then I'm going to show you all the blocks we've done so far. Well, thank you so much for sewing along with me and coming on over here today. So here is block 1 again. Let's do a little recap. Here is block 2, and these are all MODA Blockheads part 2. Here is block 3, that was last week's. And here is today's block, block 4. Really pretty. Oh my goodness, I love these. They're so much fun and they're so pretty. The only one that was, none of them have been hard, which is great. The only one that was a little tricky was this one. It wasn't tricky as much as like tedious because we had so many half square triangles. But they've all gone together really, really well. So hope you're enjoying this. I'm having fun. So I'll see you next Wednesday for block 5 and we'll see what we get then. Bye.